And we're going to get some reaction and analysis to the jury's verdict. This morning, I am joined by Bernarda Villalona. She's a legal analyst. She's been on this case, watching it a lot. She's a criminal defense attorney. She's a former prosecutor as well. She knows what she's talking about. Bernarda, good morning.
Good morning, Mitch.
So 28 days, including jury selection, and less than 3 hours for a guilty verdict on all 4 counts. What does that tell you?
Mitch, let me tell you, that verdict was so quick and unexpected. Unexpected as to the length of time that the jury deliberated. You have to think, Mitch, that this jury deliberated in less time than it took for closing arguments to be completed by either side. So that was completely unexpected. But what it does tell me is that this jury definitely had their mind made up. And they had their mind made up, I assume, that after Alex Murdaugh testified, that sealed the deal for them. And there was pretty much not much that could be said during closing arguments to try to rehabilitate Alex Murdaugh's lies, and that they were dead set in their decision based on all the evidence that was presented by the prosecution, but more importantly, Alex Murdaugh's testimony.
It does seem that everything turned on that, and perhaps that Snapchat video where he admitted, okay, I lied originally. I was in the video. That means I was there at the murder scene. It seemed like that was all she wrote. And so I know hindsight is 20/20, but man, putting the defendant on the stand where he admits to lying several times seems like that was a bad move. Do you agree?
I agree. I said it when he took the stand, before he took the stand, that I didn't think he needed to testify because it is a huge risk to put a defendant on the stand, especially since you know and you have already proven that he lied. And he lied about not something minor, but he lied about something major. And that something major was being present at the crime scene just minutes prior. 2 phones go dead, are never heard of ever again. And that right there is so crucial, that the only plausible reason for that big lie is because he had killed Maggie and Paul Murdaugh. That jury did not buy his explanation that the reason he lied was because of his opioid addiction and his paranoia, and 2, because of his distrust of SLED, of the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. But let's be clear, remember that the prosecution dismantled when he said that his distrust is what led him to lie. Because remember, like I told you last week, the way that they did it is that he said he had distrusted SLED. However, on the 911 call, he wasn't dealing with SLED. The first law enforcement officer that responded wasn't SLED. So that completely dismantled his reason and even showed even a bigger lie. And it was an easier sell to this jury that you cannot trust this con artist, this manipulator actor that was testifying before you, lying before you.
Well, the test of lying, that is the first I've heard that. It must be common in your world. But yeah, I understand what you're saying there. Now, the defense did ask immediately after the verdict for a directed verdict. They're basically asking the judge, hey, judge, we think they're wrong. Can you just change this right now? And the judge said, no, the evidence, we've had 28 days of testimony. The evidence of his guilt is overwhelming, said the judge. But certainly there will be an appeal. So given that he's been judged guilty by a jury of his peers, the judge even said no directed verdict, you're guilty. What does an appeal look like? What grounds will they appeal on?
So there are several grounds. So you have to think, Mitch, that any time a defense attorney appeals doing a jury trial or doing a bench trial, they are preserving their right to appeal, in the sense of appeal that issue, appeal whatever issue or decision that was made by the judge. And that's why they object. So when you're trying a case, you're trying a case for 2 courts, for the jury that's watching and listening to the testimony, but also to the appeals court. So when you file an appeal, if there is a conviction. The main appeal ground for this case is for the allowance of that bad acts, of those financial crimes. That's going to be a major point of contention during the appeal. And not just the financial crimes, but remember also testimony of that staged shooting. So I highly doubt that an appeal will be granted, that the verdict will be set aside or be reversed. Especially given that Alex Murdaugh testified, because an appellate court will determine that because he testified, that everything else will be harmless error, because the jury made their decision based on his credibility. That's why it makes it much more difficult to be successful at appeal when a defendant testifies.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.